Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Who You're Up Against. And so we're going to be having Brandon Ellsessor on tonight. And so I'm going to be jamming off with some questions. Hello? Brandon, can you hear me?
Hey, I can hear you now. I had to connect my audio. What's going on, man?
Okay. Well, good. Not much, man. Just got off work. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing good. I didn't have to work today, so
All right. Well, that's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. I got a good workout and just hanging out.
Sweet. Well, if you
Yeah.
don't mind, I'll just start right off and fire off some questions.
All right, no problem. Is my video all right? Is it close enough, or am I too far away?
You don't look bad. You look pretty good in the screen, and
Okay.
I can hear you well. So everything looks pretty good.
All right. My arms look big, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Good.
um, so we'll just start off with what's your name, where you're from, and what weight class you pull in.
All right. Brandon Ellsessor. I'm from Angelica, New York, and I was around 198 a couple years ago, and I've recently moved up to around 220s, but still capable of making 198s if it's worth it. You know what I mean?
No doubt. How long have you been arm wrestling?
I started in 2011. I think it was either June or July was my first tournament, so it's
Mm-hmm.
11 years, I believe.
All right, sweet. And so if you think back to the time when you were first introduced to a professional arm wrestling table, can you tell us a little bit about what that experience was like?
Yeah, absolutely. So my father arm wrestled professionally for
Wow.
time, pretty much since I was in diapers, and
Wow.
I I never did it. I never do it until about say 19 or 20 years old. Went to a couple practices. Him and his team got on the table, and after about like the second or third practice, I was just like hooked out of nowhere. Like I was like, wow, I want to get really good at this.
All right, yeah, that's great. And so throughout your time arm wrestling, is there anybody that sticks out as kind of a rival of yours, or somebody that it seems like you're always competing against, or you're staying sharp on your game to beat? You know?
There's a few. Um, I might not be able to think of all of them off the top of my
No
head,
problem. No
but
problem.
I have several wins and losses against guys like Joel Hudick, Kevin Robertson. Only ones I can think of right now.
It's no big deal. And so, so my follow-up question is always, throughout your arm wrestling journey, who is the person or the few people that have been just irreplaceable, whether or not it be training partners or people that just keep you motivated or anything along those lines?
Okay. I've definitely had a lot of training partners that I've
Mm-hmm.
been training with consistently years. Started when I first started, it was with all the guys that my dad used to train with.
Yeah.
Guys like Tom Flansburgh. A lot of people probably don't know who he is. He's a
Mm-hmm.
older generation arm wrestler. There's guys like Dave Weekland who still competes. He's a uh, he's a big dude, very solid.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started uh, moving towards gradually training with the guys from Erie. So
Uh-huh.
Bart, Dave Chafee, all,
Obviously.
and then for a while, I think after that, I was training with Michael Grimaldi out of
Okay.
Utica,
All
New
right.
York. We
Mm-hmm.
trained a few years. I drove up to his house in that area every week, about a 3 hour and 15-minute drive.
Okay.
And then the last few years, I've been training with Dustin Jaliff,
Yeah. Okay.
a couple hours. So I've had been blessed with a lot of good, solid training partners over the years.
Yeah, so basically you would easily say that having a good, even though arm wrestling seems like an individual sport, when it's just you versus somebody else, you would say, as far as, competing and getting better, that having a team and having, people that are going to motivate you is extremely important. You'd agree with that statement?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, you're only as good as the people that you train with.
Yeah, absolutely. To be honest with you, I normally ask people this question in a message before I ask it in a video, because I don't want to put them on the spot. But this isn't an accusation; it's just a question. Since you've been arm wrestling, what is your stance or experience with steroids or PEDs? Like, how do you feel about it? Have you tried them? Have you not? That type of thing.
Uh, well, I don't have any issues with steroids. I know any sport, all the top guys are taking them.
Uh-huh.
I understand, like, if you want to be the best and you're going to do what it takes. I mean, your own health is your own risk, really. I mean, who's to say you can't do this and that if it's not affecting anybody else? Um, so as far as myself, I would say probably my first six. See, I've been competing for 11 years, so my first 7 years, I never did anything. No steroids, just creatine, pre-workout, and protein. And my goal originally was to try to become the best without ever taking any.
Mhm.
And after a while, I got a little older, and I was like, you know, I tried them. My first time I ever used them was it was a WAL, one of the WAL pre-shows against Kevin Robertson. I just did a small cycle of testosterone,
Okay.
and didn't really do anything for me. I didn't feel any difference. No side effects. No strength gains. Nothing that I like actually noticed. There might have been some gains, but I just didn't see them. And so I've taken them on and off for about 4 years. Nothing major. I've done a couple of cycles of test and trend, like just low amounts, and test and DECA, and that's pretty much been it. And I don't know what it is, if it's just me, but I've never experienced like a single side effect from anything. I don't know what it is. And also, with as far as the gains, I don't feel much different either. And I don't know if it's just me or if I'm doing something wrong, but
So would you say that, well, obviously I'm gonna have follow-up questions, but obviously, I appreciate your honesty,
yeah.
first off. As
Oh, and
like I said, hmm?
all thing before, I was pretty much this big before I ever even started taking them. So for anybody that wants to say that my arms are this big because of steroids, that's not true at all. I look the same. I could bring up a picture from 6 years ago, and I look just as big as I do right now.
Well, one thing I'll say is that 90% of the time when somebody's hating on you or they're talking trash, it's normally just because they're jealous. Or, I mean, you're not gonna have too many people that come on here and talk trash about what you've done that can beat you in arm wrestling.
Right.
It's all gonna be just like bullshit keyboard people, you know,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion. But either way, it's none of their business. This is just to gather information. It's not to put people down. It's just to, because people who may want to go down that similar path may be interested in gathering and being educated and being safe about it. And so that's
Yeah.
what it's about. It's not to point fingers or say you're better or you're worse. Our sport's majority untested, and so like you said, it's up to the individual. It's your body. You're older. If you want to do it, do it. And
Yep.
so, anyways, but moving on. But I will admit that I will just tell you that I've interviewed 9 people. I've asked them all. They've all been either they don't know anything about it, they've never tried it, but they're primarily against it. And so, but it is interesting to come on and say and find somebody that says, "Yeah, I tried it." And if you want to know the truth, I'm gonna see. Honestly, I've tried it too, so it's whatever. My neighbor has really low tests, And he asked me if I wanted to take a couple emails home and just do a little bit here, a little bit, and just try it for free. And so I was like, I'll try it. But I did see a difference off of it. I feel like I can work out harder and I recover faster. But people can do that what they want. I don't care. But shit, yeah. But it's just been straight testosterone what he has, and I haven't been doing much. It's just the straight inject into your muscle stuff, and so I do it here, shallow, and then I just alternate between one butt cheek and the other, and
Right. I
that's
mean, at a certain age, your testosterone starts getting lower anyways, and people just medically get
right.
anyways just to get their levels back to what they used to be. It's not like they're getting a huge advantage over anybody if you're just taking a little bit of testosterone at a certain
Right.
age.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how old you are. I'm 35, but
I'm 30.
but full disclosure, I've had heavy drug problems in the past. I've been hooked on pills. I've done heroin, and so in my mind, I'm like, well, I should be stronger anyways if I was sober. So to me, I'm just even in the playing field by doing a
Right.
little bit of testosterone, and I don't give a shit how you feel about it. I mean, if we're in the same weight class, we're going to arm wrestle, and hey,
Right. Hey, it
but
doesn't matter what anybody thinks as long as you're happy with your decisions. That's all that matters.
that's right. But hey, nobody's worried about me beating them right now anyways, but just be patient because I'm coming.
Yeah, only get pissed off about that you've tried them once you start beating them.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
right. But I'll say I've shot heroin too. You ever done that? So like I said, I don't
yeah,
care. But moving on along, what are some goals that you remember setting early in your career that you may have already, achieved, or maybe some larger goals that you're still working towards?
uh, man. Well, one of the first people that I ever wanted to beat was Storm Chelino,
Okay. Okay.
and still haven't to this day officially. I have not beaten him in an actual tournament setting, or
Hmm.
there was one time a little over a year ago, year or two. Went to a practice, and out of nowhere, we just set up a super match unexpectedly that same day, and um, he beat me out of the straps, and then I beat him 2 times in the straps, but it was only because we agreed to go to the straps. But he won. I think he won the super match 3-1, and then we decided to do another one in the straps for the hell of it, but it didn't count towards the super match. And then I beat him again in the straps. So I still didn't win, but that was a couple years ago. I got a couple wins on him in the straps. But he has been a huge um, obstacle I started because he's one of the first arm wrestlers I met. He's from around my area, seen him 100 times at tournaments, and same with like Paul Talbot.
Uh,
Like another opportunity. I haven't pulled him right-handed in a long time. Yeah, he's another one right around my area. Just there's some savages up in like New York, PA, Ohio, and it's crazy. A
and
lot of
so,
make you better. That's for sure.
And so, yeah, that's crazy. I actually seen a Facebook post where Paul was kind of verifying himself in just of wins he had, and he had the video of you beating Travis Page, and then the video of him and you arm wrestling, but it was left, I believe. It may have been right, I don't know. But
It was
either way, he was kind of. It was what now?
it was left-handed.
Oh yeah, I thought it was. And so, anyways, but he's actually arm wrestling. Adam Warzone in Ladison, South Carolina on August 20th. But
Oh, Adam Warzinski or something like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
So
Handed.
yeah, it's right-handed best of five.
That's a very interesting match. I'd like to see that.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be good. I just live in North Carolina, in Fayetteville, North Carolina. So it's probably 3 or 4 hours for me. So I'm gonna try to make it. I'm gonna go watch it live, and I'll probably go pull pro, or I mean, I'll probably go pull also. I've never pulled a pro tournament. I've pulled novice twice and got 2 second places, but
Gotta start somewhere.
yeah, got to start somewhere. And hey, that's what this video series is all about, is just trying to get to know arm wrestlers better. So,
Yep.
when, let's say, I have a follow-up question to this, but let's say that you take a match and you have time to prepare, what is your preparation gonna look like? Can you just run through a little bit, maybe how you can go in depth or not in depth as you want? Do you just, what is your strategy towards leading up to trying to be peaked?
My preparation has pretty much always been exactly the same
Okay,
and never really changed up until like just very recently. I was always just training for like um to be like the the best at in my prime, not
yeah,
for a particular match, that up and coming match. It was for like the one match when I'm the best that I'll ever be. So like I never really stopped and down for like to just focus on one opponent.
yeah,
Um, up until right now, I had a couple losses recently, and I decided to switch it up and not take so many matches and
okay,
train so close to the match. Um,
uh-huh,
at that point now, like everybody's watching, like every match counts. So I want to be at my best. And I got a match against Craig Toulier coming up October 8th.
okay,
So I was training 1 to 2 times a week on the table,
okay,
like wrestling with people. And now I'm at about 1 to 2 times a month. And instead of doing like arm wrestling specific workouts every single day, that like bicep wear and all that, I'm actually letting it heal before I do the next one. So
okay,
that way I can go heavy again without like a bunch of pain. And it's just little setbacks that I think in my training was holding me back, because I'd never stop and let myself heal up, and I wasn't training as heavy as I wanted to because of just like pain from being sore all the time and just not healing up. So it's definitely taken more discipline to like take a day off from the gym here and there, or not train a certain exercise that I want to train.
yep.
But once I finally get to do it, it's a great workout, and I'm happy because I'm lifting heavy and I'm feeling good right now, and I'm excited about my match in October. It's in like 2 months, and
Mhm.
I can only imagine how much stronger I'm going to be because my workouts are just that much more efficient right now.
Well, that's great. And actually, you ended up covering my follow-up question. My follow-up question was just simply going to be that I noticed that you did kind of go on a bit of a, you took some losses, like you said, and I noticed that you took a step back and you reevaluated. It sounds like now that you've answered, you've reevaluated your training. It wasn't to me now. It wasn't. I was going to ask you if it was a motivation issue, but it seems like to me that you just kind of went back to square one and you just kind of reevaluated your results versus what you were going for. And then you just kind of tweaked your trading accordingly. Like you said, you had to listen to your body because you were a little bit overtrained. And so you backed your lifting and pulling off in order to be able to, I guess, be healthier, to train harder and lift heavier. And
Yeah,
so,
exactly. Yeah, it was never. I've never had a motivation issue up till this point. It's just trying to work smarter, not harder.
okay. And
Yeah.
so that's just going to turn into a little bit of a question seeking explanation on, do you find yourself several times over your career rethinking your training styles, or maybe having to change things because, like you said, your body was just sore, or different injuries or different things? Do you remember kind of not reinventing the wheel, but so much just having to be open-minded to change things? Don't think you got it perfect. Always be willing to adapt and, make it better.
Yeah, absolutely. My training is like, as far as like the exercises that I do, they I've done so many I can't even remember half of them. That like so many that I was like, oh, this is the one. This is the one that's gonna make me go to that next level, and I don't even remember wasn't anymore because I found something else. I'm like, oh, this is the one, and then it's just always changing. But I never do this. I'm not very repetitive on doing the same workout over and over. Like it's like every other week. It seems like I got a video on Facebook like, oh, I haven't done this one in years. Interview. That's my girlfriend.
Yeah, I see her looking in the window.
She like whispered in my ear, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, I can't remember her name, but I think you guys just got back from a pool, or you guys were somewhere. Am I mistaken on that? Did you guys just get done going somewhere?
Yesterday we went and played horseshoes. They had a pool there.
Oh,
And
okay, that's what it was. So you guys look like you're having, her name, is it Alex?
yep,
Okay,
Alex.
yeah, all right, cool. Yeah.
Yep.
And so, yeah, that's awesome. Another thing, I mean, I happen to be single now. I used to be married, but I'll just go ahead and ask you, how important is it, do you think, to have either a wife or a girlfriend that is supportive of arm wrestling and, you know, likes to go to events and loves you training? And I see you and her boy, you know what I mean? He loves to do his thing on the table and all that. How important do you think that is to have somebody like that in your life that's supportive?
It's an amazing feeling. I wouldn't know what it was like to not have somebody in my life because
Uh,
I wouldn't stick around if somebody wasn't supportive. I would keep
Yeah, no doubt. I don't blame you on that, but I can just tell because I see you guys' pictures and all that and every, you know, it's happy and she totally, it seems like to me, she just totally loves it, you know? And so, hey, I'm happy for you and, I think it's great.
yeah, thanks for yeah, it's the best. I have no complaints
Mhm.
whatsoever.
So, have you ever suffered, what is the worst injury you think you'd ever suffered, you know, that's either happened while arm wrestling and how you had to deal with it, or that hindered your arm wrestling?
Um, I've had multiple shoulder injuries in both of my shoulders that have just um, nagged for like over a year at a time. And
Wow.
the last year, I would say I had like two different times. Like I injured my shoulder, and then I couldn't even do a single pull up. If even just hanging on the bar, I would favor the other side because my
Uh,
shoulder. And it took a while to. I never went and saw like a doctor or anything for any of my.
right.
Just figured out how to heal them myself through my own um, outs or physical therapy, I guess I would say. Just trying to find the right movements to get the blood in there and help him heal. And so, like the last shoulder injury, I couldn't do like pull ups or like anything like pulling. And then I had another after I healed that one up. Like 2 weeks later, I fucked it up again, and then I couldn't do shoulder presses or bench or dips and all that for a while. And now it's healed up again. So, and hopefully this time my training's a lot smarter. Doesn't get back to what it was. And I've had nagging pains in like the back of my right hand for years, and like I used to have really bad pains here, like that side pressure pain. I don't know if it's golfer's elbow or tennis elbow.
Mhm.
In my brachialis in my right arm too, and even after like letting it heal up and taking could take like a whole month off and then train it like arm wrestle or do something back pressure specifically one time and it'll be sore again. But I think it's just because of all those times that I just trained every single day and not let it heal up. So it's like it's almost like chronic now. But I can still, as long as I'm letting it heal up and then training again, it's a lot better.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm actually dealing with that same exact thing. I'm having trouble with my right arm on my brachialis and then like this part of my hammer right here. Like I can't hardly do a reverse curl the other day and like any kind of pressure at all. And I can do a pull up, but I have to lay way back where I'm like basically just rowing. You know, I'm not doing like this. I'm like, you know,
yeah, I
laying
would.
back doing a pull up.
Yeah, I would say that if anything has set me back, I would say it'd probably be that brachialis pain
And
because so much so specific for arm wrestling, just pulling back and
absolutely.
training affects your arm wrestling, everything. And if it's hurting, you can't do much.
Yeah.
That's just
Just out of curiosity, if you don't mind, what do you do for a living? And does it help rehab or does it hinder your arm wrestling in any way? Is it, real strenuous?
So yeah, I'm pretty lucky. I have a very physically demanding job.
Oh, shit.
I'm a union reinforcing iron worker. I
Oh, okay.
carry and tie rebar all day long, so I'm basically working out all day. But luckily, me, it's not fucking up my arms
Mhm.
or anything. It's more like just deadlifting, throwing it up on your shoulders. I'm not really using my biceps too much, so it's more like lower back. It's mostly lower back and like grip. So nothing that's like hindering my ability or causing injuries.
Okay.
It, other than just making you tired at the end of the day, but still gotta go to the gym.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. So, there's a little bit of not so much of a controversy, but there's a discussion that goes on, and I can see it in kind of arm wrestling. There's people that believe in just arm wrestling specifics. Like for some reason, people watch, they think like brand new arm wrestlers think they can watch Devin wear it and then just copy his like the 5 exercises that he does or whatever, the arm wrestling specific ones and that they're gonna get good. And what's your opinion on that? Are you more of like a full body guy? I heard you say you do military press and different exercises, or what's your opinion on that?
Well, yeah, I've always, when I started out, I was just regular weightlifting, just like anybody else. And I think you need a balance. Like you can't just do arm wrestling specifics only your
Uh,
entire arm wrestling career, and you can't just lift weights your entire arm wrestling career. If you do just one, um, I don't know. I don't, in my opinion, you're probably not going to reach your um, the best that you could have been. I don't know how to explain it. um, but I'll go like periods where I'll do more conventional weightlifting, and then periods where I'm doing mostly arm wrestling specifics, such as right now. That's mostly all I'm doing, just training for an arm. You know what I mean?
uh-huh, absolutely. And so, but you still incorporate the kind of power, what would be considered power building movements, like over, like a
Like
free weight overhead press and maybe like a bent over row with a barbell or something like that.
yeah, I just don't think it's good to have like that bodybuilder mentality for as an arm wrestler, because more the ratio of weightlifting to arm wrestling training is like way higher on the weightlifting side than it is on the arm wrestling side. And I think you want to either have it be more balanced or more on the arm wrestling side to reach your true potential as an
Okay.
arm.
Yeah, you explained it perfect. That's exactly kind of what I was getting at. I was just about to kind of ask if that's what you were saying, that if you don't balance your Pacific and your total body training well, then you won't be as powerful and good as an arm wrestler as you could have been if you would have
Right.
dialed it in. And that makes 100% sense. And so, have you ever I'm getting ready to wind it up here, but out of curiosity, have you ever had maybe trying to be a professional arm wrestler and just a professional arm wrestler for your money? Has that ever been a goal of yours? Or is that something you'd ever be interested in obtaining? Like either through YouTube or just through like the sport grows and you're getting paid enough to travel like Todd, or whoever, you're getting paid to just be everywhere. Would you ever be interested in just being a full-time professional arm wrestler?
Well, hell yeah, if I could.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
that like very little bit of hope that that could happen, but I definitely do not expect that to happen. And
Really? Huh.
mostly kind of seems like a fantasy right now. It seems like every time something big happens, it disappears after a couple years, and then everybody's just bringing the sport a lot. Not everybody, but a lot of people just constantly bringing the sport down, like it's never gonna happen. And then all these people saying like watching people that don't know about arm wrestling watching it, like why is he using his whole body. He's cheating. This is fucking stupid. It's like, dude, if you really knew arm wrestling, like this is the way that it should be. But it's from a standpoint of somebody who doesn't. It's just it looks stupid. Which I could see how. I mean, really, using your whole body is way better. It's way more fun. It's cooler once you really get to know arm wrestling.
Yeah, I completely agree with that statement.
That's good. If you just,
that's what it's all about.
you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And
Who's gonna? Everybody just goes up to the table and just goes like this. That would be boring as hell.
yeah, they're
But
ready.
at least, right?
Like a clock.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's something else. I've noticed that arm wrestling's been growing quite a bit even since I started. You've obviously got started at a very, very young age, but I got started through pulling John. And so ever since then, I've been arm wrestling for a total of 18 months, which isn't long, but I fell in love with it, that most definitely. And I've noticed that just since I've gotten into it, it's grown exponentially. But you're right, there hasn't been an organization come around. COVID, I think, really did some damage as far as it messed up. Obviously, the PAL and the WAL kind of fizzled out, and not maybe directly because of that, but it does have some growing pains and everything. But I do have hope that maybe that it could get, it's going to continue to get larger and larger and larger, and hopefully the tournament payouts keep going up and up.
So it's still growing altogether. More people are finding out about it. And I mean, what great success hasn't had 1,000 failures? You know what I mean? So maybe it'll be like that. Maybe it'll be the next American Ninja Warrior.
Yeah, that thing did blow up pretty good, that's for sure. So if you don't, I've actually messaged Paul Talbot in the past and asked him about oh, that's not who you're pulling. Did you say you're pulling Paul Talbot?
Craig Toulier.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, my mistake. That was I just got confused. I messaged Craig Toulier whenever he first started his YouTube channel, and he was busy on the road working, and so I may get a chance to interview him too before you match.
Oh hell yeah!
If you don't mind, I know that you still have 2 months to prepare, but do you have anything at all you'd like to say to Craig Toulier on here?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, I can't wait to arm wrestle Craig. He's amazing competitor and just a great guy all around.
Absolutely.
There's no like bad blood or anything.
No.
But I'm definitely coming to win, and I'm hoping he brings the best version of himself. So I'm gonna bring the best version of myself, and we haven't pulled in a long time, so it'll be interesting. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hey, I'm definitely excited about it. And if you don't mind, just do you mind just repeating one more time the date and location of that match?
Yeah, it's October 8th in Farmington Hills, Michigan.
Okay.
I can't remember what the tournament or the organization is that's ranked off the top of my head.
Well, what I'm going to do is whenever I post this video on YouTube, I'll link your YouTube channel in the description. I'll link his YouTube channel in the description, and then I'll make sure I have all those answers, the time, the date, the address, and all that good stuff. And I can even link the Facebook page to where if there's a flyer or anything, I'll make sure that it's in there. But I'll tell you what, I appreciate you sitting down and talking with me for just a little bit, and I've enjoyed our chance to get to know you a little bit better, and I hope I get to meet you in person.
Yeah, man, it was a lot of fun. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. If you don't mind, just hit me with a flex.
Let's see if I can get a good. Oh, that's terrible lighting. Hang on.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah, man. Thanks a lot, Brandon. I'll talk to you soon, brother.
All right, man. Have a good night.
You too.